my name is Melody, and thank you for clicking on this video. So it's been a little over a week since all the drama with the Buffalo Sabres. I made a video entitled, I Actually Hate the Buffalo Sabres. So I've given it a week, I've kind of given it some thought. I figured, I'd take some time to calm down, process everything, process how I'm feeling. But nothing's changed, I still hate them. So with all the crazy, depressing things going on with the Sabres right now, I thought I'd bring back an old video idea I had. So a couple months ago, I put out a post on the community tab on my YouTube channel, and I asked all non-Sabres fans to send me in their best sales pitches for why I should stop cheering for the Sabres altogether and cheer for your favorite team. So this was back 2 months ago. It was kind of in the midst of the Sabres' massively long losing streak, all the misery, the pain, and kind of just as a funny idea, I thought I'd ask you guys what I should do about it. That video actually, and I haven't talked about it since this happened, but that video was supposed to be to celebrate the fact that we have officially passed the Buffalo Sabres YouTube channel in total subscribers, so thank you, everybody. Yeah, so I set this post out, that was to celebrate, and I wanted to take this time to thank you guys for making my little mini YouTube goal come true and sticking with me this long. But anyway, so I put out a post. I said, attention non-Sabres fans, I need your help again. I think I talked about it in the previous live stream, but with the Sabres being on a 9-game losing streak, oh god, this was only this was only back during the 9-game losing streak. That's hilarious. Sorry, with the 9-game losing streak and my tolerance for this team dropping by the minute, oh honey. I thought it would be fun to do a video where other teams' fans persuade me to root for their team instead of the Sabres. So leave me a comment below on why I should abandon the Sabres and cheer for a different team. Except you Leafs fans, definitely not you. So I was definitely shocked by the responses that I got. I got over 800 comments. The reason I didn't do the video back when I originally posted it was just because, by the time I kind of read through all the comments and stuff, things were kind of getting a little bit better for the Sabres. Eventually, they broke their losing streak, even though it took 18 games. They started looking better under Granato, and they became a little bit more watchable. But with Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, and like everyone else wanting a trade, and it looks like the Sabres are back to being, in rebuild mode, tear down rebuild mode, I thought I'd bring it back. And when I was going through the comments, I saw a lot of people who were very concerned. Guys, this is all just for fun. I'm not actually leaving the Buffalo Sabres. I'm never gonna quit the Buffalo Sabres. Don't you think I would have done it by now if I just could? But I really appreciate everyone who reached out, because I got comments from every single NHL team, along with teams that aren't even teams yet, aka the Kraken, and then a couple teams that don't exist anymore but used to. So this is going to be really fun. Thanks for everyone who sent in some offers. The Ducks have Trevor Zegras, the next Patty Kane, Drysdale, Jacob Perreault, Gibson, Lucas Dotzel, and future first-round picks. Also have Steele and Troy Terry playing well. I mean, works for me. I would honestly just pick the Ducks because of the Mighty Ducks movie, honestly. I do love Trevor Zegras, though. Cheer for the best-dressed team in hockey, the Arizona Coyotes. Our fans are toxic when one player doesn't produce 2 games in a row, and it's the team Jack Eichel should be playing for. That is true. That is very true. If the Sabres would have won the lottery and got McDavid, Jack Eichel would be a Coyote. It's very, very interesting. If you want more pain, become a Coyotes fan. It's like being a Sabres fan, but with more drama. I guess so. Seems like the Coyotes have had more than their fair share of drama. The Yotes! You get all the fun of rooting for an underdog, except they actually pull off some great surprising victories every year. Plus, every time they score, you get to go, ow, 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 at the TV. Plus, tickets are super cheap. I do love cheap hockey tickets. Under the Bruins, gross. Let's see. I try to convince you to root for the Bruins, but I just don't see that happening. You ain't wrong. Do you like your pasta with a refreshing Dunkin's cold brew? Also, we have eliminated the Leafs in the first round 3 straight times. Now that's a pretty good sales pitch if you ask me. Cheer for the Bruins, because once Marchand is gone, who can you hate? I'll give you a hint. His number's 71. New England needs another championship, so root for the Bruins. We're in a drought. It's been 3 years. That's what I love. I love the humbleness of Boston sports fans. I wish I could give you a reason to root for the Flames, but I can't. So we have nice looking jerseys. That's true. The Flames jerseys are probably up either my favorite or at least in the top 3 jerseys in the NHL. Probably my favorite, actually. I love the Flames jerseys. Calgary Flames, otherwise you have to play against Matthew Tkachuk. P.S. Our jerseys are sick. Yeah. I mean, you can just sell me on the jerseys, honestly. The Flames actually know how and when to fire a coach. Ooh. Burn! What's up, Ralph Kruger? If not the Sabres, then definitely the Flames. They're fast-paced, fun to watch, have great offensive players like Johnny Gaudreau, and of course, Milan Lucic. And if that doesn't convince you, then just look at those crisp uniforms, especially the reverse retros with the return of Blasty the Horse. And that comment is brought to you by my good friend, Peter. from my hockey team. Peter Big Flames guy. I don't know why I had to add Milan Lucic in there, but again, like if the Flames, if their only thing is that like they have amazing uniforms, that's good enough for me, honestly. But I honestly, like, I haven't been watching as much hockey this year as I normally do because, you know, the Sabres have killed my love for hockey. But, I don't really know what's going on with the Flames. I kind of like the team they had. I just surprised they had the kind of year that they had. The Carolina Hurricanes are fun to watch and fun to follow. Their Twitter person is next level good, and their style of play looks like an actual Hurricane. They're very good at hockey, so you can have a successful team to cheer for, and their general culture is amazing. Rod Brind'Amour already gets you to want to run through walls without you cheering for the Canes, so why not do it anyway? You know, it's so funny because, like, for the longest time, the Carolina Hurricanes were right up there with the Leafs in terms of teams that I just couldn't stand. The Hurricanes, just because of like what happened in 2006 when they eliminated us in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, broke my 11-year-old heart. But as time has gone on, and obviously the Sabres haven't been competitive and haven't been able to create rivalries with anyone anymore because no one really cares about us, I've really, really, really loved what the Hurricanes have done. I think Rod Brind'Amour is an awesome coach for them. I just love their whole team. Like, I feel like they have such a good team. I love the way they play. I do love that they actually have fun, that they came up with that storm surge thing. As cheesy as it may be at times, I think it was awesome. It was creative. It was original. So yeah, I mean, I can't say anything bad about the Hurricanes anymore. I actually really like the Hurricanes. If you become a Hurricanes fan, you have our supply of barbecue and sweet tea. Ooh, yes, please. We are one of the teams that didn't make the playoffs for 10 years. Both played in the 06 Eastern Conference Finals. Ugh. Sorry, yeah, you should be. Also, Martinook is a treasure, as well as Svechnikov, Turbo, and Aho. By the way, I can convince you to become a Hornets fan. I don't think it's cruel anymore. If you guys remember from like my Jack Eichel trade offer videos, I am very, very easily persuaded by food, so barbecue and sweet tea sounds like if you're offering that, I'm remarkably tempted. Carolina Hurricanes, ton of fun to watch and a great team and a fun fan base is growing again, and that is so fun to be around. Like I love the fact that hockey's growing and kind of those more non-traditional hockey markets in the warm weather cities. So to see the Carolina Hurricanes back at it again with an awesome team and their fans really engaged, I love that. I'm really happy for them there. Blackhawks, our best players from Buffalo. That is true. It's like the least you can do since you robbed us on the Jokiharju trade. Yeah, the one trade that Jason Botterill probably got the better end of. The one! Unlike the Sabres, the Hawks are exceeding my expectations for this year. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. We have the best restaurant to ever exist, Portillo's. So I've been to Chicago a bunch of times. I have a family in Chicago. I love Chicago restaurants. I've never been to Portillo's, but I haven't been to Chicago in a long time, so I gotta get back there. Ooh, a long one. You should pick the Blackhawks, and I'll give you 9 reasons why. We have the most successful thing to ever come from Buffalo, Patrick Kane, yeah. We have the best 6th-round pick in Sabres history, who Botterill chose not to sign to an entry-level contract, Brandon Hagel. Triggered! Can we talk about that? Like, they just chose not to give that guy an entry-level contract, as if we had like a ton of depth, like a hugely loaded prospect system, right? We didn't, and we choose not to give this guy an entry-level contract. Why? Botterill, like, stupid. Oh my god, I'm triggered. Let's keep going. We have a top 5 goal scorer in the NHL who just happens to have played junior hockey in Erie, which is basically Buffalo. Alex DeBrincat. That's another one. That's another reason I'm triggered. So Alex DeBrincat was taken in the 2nd round of the 2016 NHL draft, which took place in Buffalo, and I do not understand why we didn't take him. We traded up to get Rasmus Asplund that year, and we passed on Alex DeBrincat, who went a few picks later to Chicago. I don't understand. Do you understand how much hockey the Sabres watch because in Erie because of, you know, scouts watching Connor McDavid? Like, Alex DeBrincat was right there. How you watch so much hockey? How do you pass on DeBrincat for Rasmus Asplund, who has been like such a fringe NHL player? He's had a decent year this year, but he's not DeBrincat! Like, mind-numbing stuff, guys. His best friend is also on the team, and he's cool too, Dylan Strome. I like Dylan Strome, sure, why not? We have Dylan Cousins, but better, and Kirby Dach. Talk about Dylan Cousins. We have a budget Rasmus Dahlin, but with a professional coaching staff, Adam Boqvist. That's fair. Scandinavian goalies are the only reason we win hockey games too. Okay. Our coach turns bad trades into good trades, unlike someone. Jokiharju Kruger. Yeah. Oh my god, Jokiharju was so bad under Ralph Kruger, and then when Granato came around, he got better, but yeah. That was another one. Him and Dahlin were just awful. And finally, our bottom 6 forwards do indeed help the PK. You're hilarious. Not to mention they also get paid like 1/3 of what Buffalo's do, and they actually have decent advanced analytics too. Yeah. I love when people quote my songs. Those are good reasons. I like that a lot. Triggered me a lot, but I'll get over it, I'm sure. On to the Avalanche. If you guys have followed my channel for a while, you know, the Avs are my Western Conference team, so I'm sure there's gonna be this should be pretty easy for people. I already heard you say you're a closet Avalanche fan. Why not just go full out and get him a card jersey? I'd love to. Although the Avs haven't been firing on all cylinders yet, so it's not frustration-free, plus Sammy Girard. So much fun to watch, do spins and outskate other guys. I love Girard, yeah. This is a fun team to watch. Also, JT Compher was a Buffalo pick traded for Ryan O'Reilly, so we have mutual disgust with him winning a cup with another team. Oh, and Thor's our captain. I love Cale Makar. I just love their whole D group. Like, they really, and it's impressive too, considering, you know, what was it, like, it wasn't even, what, maybe 4 years ago that the Avs were a last place team. To see them turn around and have such an awesome team and, you know, definitely a cup contending team for sure. It's so cool to see. And then, you know, JT Compher, I gotta tell you, like, when the O'Reilly trade happened, Compher was really the only piece that I was like super disappointed that we lost, and I didn't think we should have put him in there. Didn't care about Grigorenko, didn't care about Zadorov. Putting Compher in there, I was like, ugh, why do we have to? You know, but I guess if he's gonna have success with anyone, I'm glad it's with the Avalanche. I mean, do I need to convince you that it's the Avalanche? Come on, Mel, come on. I feel like you're already halfway there, pretty much. It's playoff time, so I'm there now. Easiest answer ever, the Colorado Avalanche. You already admitted to liking the purple team anyway. Exactly. Although I will say, when they changed their pants to blue and their helmet to blue, gross! Like, that's been bothering me all season. Like, those blue pants are driving me nuts. I'm telling you. Blech. They were fine with black. Why change it? I don't, do Avs fans, like, actually like it, or does that bother them too, or is it just me? I don't know. Comment below. You already got the Avs sweater, seamless transition. Who doesn't love watching Mac do work nightly? Avs Nation needs you, Mel. I mean, I love McKinnon too. See, I just love their team. Like, it's one thing that they were my favorite team when I was really little. They really built an awesome team. You already like the Avs. We both fumbled on an O'Reilly trade, true. But we actually good and fun. Also, there's no interesting social media personality for the Avs, so you could fill that gap. We also have a shitty owner, but in a complete contrast to yours, he always stays away from the whole hockey business and lets competent people do the job. It's amazing. Oh my God. What I wouldn't do. An owner that stays away from the hockey thing. Oh my God. Like, it just seems like the Pegulas have just had their hands all over this mess. And that's, like, they think they know more. Remember when Kim Pegula said when they didn't fire Jason Botterill at first, she said they didn't do it because they know more than the fans. They know what they're doing. Like, ugh. Go away. Just hire someone to do the hockey stuff. Just write the checks and get. What I wouldn't give. That's amazing. You should root for the Jackets because we're pretty bad. It will feel like home, except not so cripplingly depressing. Just a normal amount of depressing. Blue Jackets are like the Sabres, except not run like a clown show. Last few games notwithstanding. We're young, scrappy, and hungry. Young, scrappy, and hungry. Not run like a clown show. That's funny. Oh, it actually is true for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're the plucky underdogs who took down the unstable Lightning 2 years ago before collapsing to Boston. That's true. I did love that story. They exceeded expectations. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs and are probably on a downswing after being buyers and trying to win a playoff series. That being said, they'll probably never be less than 300 on point percentage because Columbus itself isn't a hockey town like Buffalo is. Beautiful arena district, and the arena is much quieter than the first Niagara Center was when the Sabres were better than a D3 college team. So you probably get to continue not having playoff heartbreak, but you can still have a Rust Belt City team to cheer for. This one happens to still try, and you can still road trip to games and have a good experience. Check out Hot Chicken Takeover if you go to Columbus and want some fried chicken. They also have a brewery scene that'll put Buffalo to shame, honestly. Oh! Oh! We'll see about that. I might have to road trip to Columbus. Those are some big words there. So yeah, I mean, Columbus has always been one of those interesting teams to me. Like you said, when they were buyers that one year, they just went all out instead of maybe the better approach would have been to be more, you know, look more toward the future. But they didn't, and they really went for it, and it didn't work out. But I think the Blue Jackets and the Sabres are probably, you know, not currently team-wise, but like city-wise, probably pretty similar in terms of that, you know, small city kind of feeling. Probably aren't going to attract huge free agents. So I feel like we're pretty similar. Columbus is on my list. I kind of want to go to Columbus and check out a game there, though I will say, like, I'm pretty sensitive to sudden loud noises, so that cannon might get me a couple times. Dallas Stars, we have an exciting future with a lot of great young stars and some solid veterans, but disappoint the fans just enough to where it will feel familiar to Buffalo. I love how so many of these comments have been like, yeah, we're disappointing and depressing too, so so it'll feel just like normal. Dallas Stars, reason number one, we aren't the Sabres. I mean, that's not a bad reason if that's all you got. They did have a good run last year, too. If you're sick of your team underperforming, you can become a Red Wings fan. We never have any expectations to begin with, and none of our games will count until 2023. I mean, that's a nice attitude to have. As long as you set your expectations low, I mean, you can't be disappointed. So, like, when I'm disappointed, I mean, the clear answer is that I just set my expectations too high, I guess. Why should you root for the Red Wings even when they suck? One name, 2 words, Steve Yzerman. I love Steve Yzerman. I'm so jealous of the Red, like, because you know that they're gonna have a good rebuild. You know that things are gonna work out for them. It was interesting because, like, you know, when Taylor Hall got traded, and I talked about how I thought the Sabres, you know, did not get enough value for him, nearly enough. Wow, suddenly he's having success with Boston. I'll wait for my apology notes from a lot of you. I always said, because a lot of people were telling me that they got fair value for him, and I just completely disagreed. I thought he deserved way more, and I always said, would Steve Yzerman have gotten that bad of a value for Taylor Hall? You know what I mean? Because I feel like Yzerman has such a better reputation, you know, such a better track record. And so if Steve Yzerman was the general manager, one, he probably wouldn't have signed Taylor Hall with a full no movement clause on a 1-year contract, but would he have been able to get better value? And I think the answer is yes. I mean, it's interesting though, but I do love Steve Yzerman. I wish the Sabres had someone like him. Sure, the Red Wings don't look attractive right now, but all of our prospects are hiding in Europe. Seider and Raymond look to be great players. We have one of the most competent GMs around, again, yes. And if you get sad about the present, we have fond memories from 1940s till 1960, and from 1991 until recently. We can go back and enjoy cup wins and reflect on all our Hall of Fame players like Hasek. Right now there's despair, there's a promising future ahead, and a past to live in until we get there. Plus, original 6 team, how could you not be a fan? That's actually a really good pitch. Like, yeah, we're bad now, but we have a great history. Like, just go watch some of our past championship DVDs or something, and, you know, we're a storied franchise. Hey, did you want to cheer for a team that also is pretty bad, but actually has a promising future? Join me in cheering for the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, can you imagine, like, the Sabres are bad, but we also don't have a promising future? Like, unless we get hauls for Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart, which... does that even seem likely at this point? The Oilers, if you hit your head a little and squint, you can mix up which 2015 top 2 draft pick you are watching. Ugh. The best Canadian team that isn't Toronto. You won't get nostalgic about terrible management decisions because we have plenty here to worry about. No need to look to the past. Realistically, though, the Oilers play an exciting game, don't totally suck, and have some of the wildest rivalries in hockey. That is very true. Like, I will say the one thing I miss about the Sabres being so bad is, like, those rivalries, like the Leafs, the Senators, the Habs, Bruins. Like I'm not even upset with the Leafs right now. It just sucks that we don't really have those rivalries because the Sabres haven't been relevant in a while, but I will say, like, I love the Battle of Alberta. Like, Oilers Flames games are awesome. Like, that's just so fun, and, like, I just wish there were more exciting rivalries like that in the NHL. Because the NHL would be so much more fun if that were the case. Cheer for the Oilers, McDavid and Draisaitl, and we also gone through a decade of darkness as you Sabres fans are currently experiencing. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, the Sabres and the Oilers do probably have a lot in common, right? Like, they both were devastated in Game 7s in the 2006 playoffs, right? You know, it's crazy because I always go back to this concept of how realistic it would be for the Sabres' top 3 centers right now to be Jack Eichel, Leon Draisaitl, and Ryan O'Reilly, right? Because, like, I didn't want them to take Sam Reinhart in the 2014 draft. I knew they were gonna, but I didn't want them to. I wanted either Draisaitl or Bennett. And, you know, obviously Draisaitl was the pick that should have been, right, in hindsight. But then, like, if, you know, you have Draisaitl and you also don't trade away Ryan O'Reilly, could you imagine where we would be? And that's not an unrealistic scenario. We just had to make one better draft pick and didn't not trade away Ryan O'Reilly. If our top 3 centers were Eichel, Draisaitl, and O'Reilly, good lord! And that's not even that unrealistic. That could have easily happened. Jeez. Anyway. Yeah, I feel that. You should cheer for the Oilers. We also had our dreams dashed by Carolina in 06, yeah, and followed it up with our decade of darkness. However, we're on the rise with McDavid and Draisaitl leading the way. Yeah, I mean, I can watch Connor McDavid all day long. Like, such a shame that we didn't get him, man. The Oilers, yes, we were disappointed, but at least we have Connor and Leon. See, like, that's all you really need. Like, yeah, we have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, so just cheer for us. Florida Panthers. I've come to really like the Florida Panthers recently, especially with that Game 1, that playoff game. That was probably, like, one of the most exciting hockey games I've seen in a long time. Like, exciting hockey in Florida. That's amazing. Florida Panthers, we can actually come back from being down a lead, best team in the 3rd period of hockey, plus you'll be our 7th Panthers fan. You know what I really found funny is when I made that Hey Jason Botterill video and I wrote the line, Hey Jason Botterill, I just hope you have the answers because our rink's starting to look and feel just like the Florida Panthers. So there were actually Panthers fans that like, they kind of called me out on it. They were like, don't talk about us like that, blah, blah. And it's so funny because I truthfully, when I wrote that song, I only had like 700 subscribers at the time. When I wrote that song, I truthfully didn't think anyone outside of Buffalo was gonna hear it, and then it kind of went a little bit viral. So I just thought it was really funny that like I made a joke about Florida Panthers not having fans, and then like a lot of people heard it, and I felt bad about it. But it's awesome now to see like that crowd game one was electric. Like that was awesome. So I won't make those jokes anymore, especially considering, you know, the Sabres can't fill arenas anymore, even without COVID. So you should be a Florida fan. This team has suffered a lot, like you as a Sabres fan, but Florida is going to be very good very soon. You should watch some Florida games, then you'll see that the Panthers, even down by 3 goals, they come back and win games. They play fantastic hockey. They're working their ass off, and the effort is there. Coach Q has turned the team around, along with GM Bill Zito, who managed to get the pieces we needed. The Florida Panthers are making the playoffs. Sabres are not. I mean, I don't think that last part was very necessary. Yeah, like, I feel like the Panthers, too, like, they just made smart moves, right? Like, they didn't make, like, these massive trades, these massive signings. They just made, like, a bunch of smart moves, and they paid off. Being a Panthers fan, you gotta root for Florida. We are a high-scoring team, high-octane hockey at its finest. We are never out of a game. We are second in the league in comeback wins. We got a bunch of incredible individual stories this year. A bunch of nobodies like Carter Verhaeghe have become somebodies, yeah. We play a physical game and a rough game. Radko Gudas is a prime example of that. Defense can shut down opponents and is much improved. Goaltending is amazing with Bobrovsky getting back to his elite form. And Drager being arguably the best backup in the league. We should be a top 5 goalie tandem by the end of the regular season. Yeah, like, so I haven't really watched a ton of hockey outside of the Sabres this year because of what they've done to me, but watching that game 1 against Tampa, like, I love the way the Panthers play. And you know, like you said, that high octane, high scoring, like, I love it. Cheer for the Kings. We have warm weather, a nice mix of veterans and young guys, and maybe even Eichel pretty soon. Go Kings, go. Maybe. I find it really interesting, like, everyone talks about the Kings as a potential Eichel destination, but I just, like, for the Kings, I just feel like they're doing such a good job with their rebuild, with their prospects. Like, they have, what, the number 1 prospect group or something up there close to that. So I just, like, I feel like if you're trading for Eichel, you'd probably want to be a little bit further along. That's why I feel like the Rangers, just with everything that they have and everything that they already have and everything that they could move, they make the most sense. I would love it to send Jack Eichel as far out west as possible, but if they want to, I mean, I don't know. LA Kings exciting to watch, number 1 prospect pool, so plenty of young players coming up in the future, which always makes for good stories. Not in your conference when the divisions go back to normal. We're on the verge of a playoff bid, and watching those games go down the stretch will be fantastic. This was 2 months ago. Plus, if you ever visit a home game, can code much better weather than LA. The thing with that, though, is like, I can't do too hot, and I feel like LA is just always hot, right? I can't do too hot. That's why I love Buffalo weather so much. Like right now, it's in like the 70s, nice cool breeze. That's kind of my thing. I know what LA is always warm, and I would probably appreciate it in the winter, but I don't know. I don't know if I could do too hot. Cheer for the LA Kings. They drafted you 2nd overall. They did. That's true. And be a pro. Completely different division from the Sabres and different conference altogether. The prospects are coming up and developing well. 2 prospects lit up World Juniors as part of Team USA in Turcotte and Arthur Kaliev, yeah. Plus we have Quinton Byfield developing in the NHL, yep. Not to mention our reverse retro jerseys are dope looking, and the Kings jerseys usually have a good track record. Team is about to turn the league on its head. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I feel like they're doing such a good job with, you know, their young prospects, and to have Turcotte, Kaliev, Byfield. Yeah, I mean, I think they can turn around pretty quickly if they keep drafting well like that. And they did draft me 2nd overall. I was an LA King and be a pro, and I kind of gave up that series because it didn't really seem like there was a bunch of interest in it. But I mean, if you guys want me to keep doing it, I could finish off my rookie season. I kind of stopped right before the playoffs, so let me know if you want me to continue that. Minnesota. The Wild have been an electrifying team for probably the first time in your adult life. Yeah, the Wild are cool. I didn't really know what to think of them, but obviously they're having a pretty darn good year. Cheer for the Wild. Not only is Kirill a star in the making, but fellow rookie Kaapo Kähkönen has been great in goal, winning the last 8 starts. Pair them with Rossi when he comes up, and they could have a championship core in the making. Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of liked the Wild, to be honest. Like, I've always loved, like, Minnesota, right? Like, how they're such a huge hockey state. And I do like how their team is up and coming. I do like the year that they've had. As someone who watches Vegas, I will endorse the Wild. They aren't a powerhouse, but damn it, are they exciting. They have everything you want in a new team to follow. Up-and-coming goalie Kaprizov is looking like a star. A great veteran core that seems to love promoting their young guns. Yeah, veterans like my dude Marcus Foligno. former Saber. The Wild, we have a long history of adopting former Sabres. That is very true. There was like that long stretch where every single year it seemed like the Wild and the Sabres made trade deadline moves, and I always wanted it to be Charlie Coyle. So like, the one year they traded Matt Moulson, the one year they traded Jason Pominville, the one year they traded Chris Stewart. Like, there was just like such a long string of trades, and every year I was like, could we get Charlie Coyle in the trade? Could we get Charlie? And it was never Charlie Coyle. Eventually, he went to Boston. I always wanted Charlie Coyle. Bummer. Well, if you want to root for two solid goaltenders, an up-and-coming team, and a rookie with the greatest hair around, some of the nicest uniforms around, why not cheer for the Wild? This team should be fun with solid coaching. Might be a force in the near future, if not a force already. I will say I do like the Wild uniforms. I like the fact that, like, for their reverse retro jerseys, they kind of went with like the Minnesota North Stars-ish colors. I like that a lot better than the red and the green. So like, if they went full on green and yellow, they would own my heart, I gotta tell ya. Montreal, we won the most cups. Very Habs thing to say. We're fast, got a good young group, and we also hate the Leafs. Yeah. Cheer for the Habs. You're already familiar with the soul-crushing reality that your Sabres will never win, but the Canadians have that. But they'll tease you and give you hope for 3/4 of the season and sometimes the playoffs. Sometimes the playoffs. That's important. That's good enough for me. Sabres haven't played a meaningful game in March in like how long? Cheer for the Canadians. Our division is really exciting, and our jerseys look sick. Plus, we have Sabres legend Joel Armia and Paul Byron. Yes, Paul Byron played for the Sabres. It was a while ago. So it's so funny because when I made that first Jack Eichel trade video that I did, someone had mentioned like that the Habs should trade Paul Byron in a package for Jack Eichel, and I just kind of laughed and I was like, Paul Byron, man, like I always forget that he's in the NHL and that he played for the Sabres, and then I hear his name, and like I had so many Montreal Canadiens fans like go to bat for Paul Byron, like defending him in the comments, like, what? Don't talk about Paul Byron like that. Like, what do you say that about Paul Byron? I always thought it was funny. I was like, wow, got some Paul Byron stands out there. He really never did anything for the Sabres, but glad he has success elsewhere, as everyone else does. Montreal, we're the winningest team ever. We hate the Leafs and the Bruins have a ton of cups. Our prospects are exciting, and we look pretty good this year. We'd love to have you. I do love Cole Caulfield. Like, it's cool to see him he had some success. I love him a lot. Like, I wasn't happy when he went to Montreal. I do like him a lot. I think he's going to be a good player. Nashville might be easy to convince me. I love Nashville. Pull for the Predators. Nashville, the Music City, has a connection with you. You can sing. Oh, man, I went to Nashville 5 years ago for a Bills-Titans game. If I could move anywhere in the world, it would be Nashville. I love Nashville so much. The whole atmosphere, and especially like I went to a Predators game. It was Connor McDavid's second ever NHL game. I wanted to see his first NHL goal, and he didn't score that night. But the whole arena atmosphere with all their chants and everything, I love it. The Preds, because you can learn all of our chants that we do during the games. Yeah, I already know them all. I love them. You want to have fun, but also lose at the same time while you're chanting, hey, you suck at the other team, even though you're losing 5-1. Yes, that sounds incredible. If yes, then join the Nashville fan base. Sounds good to me. The Devils, we're literally a step up in the standings. Plus, Jack Hughes is only going to get better with age, right? Please tell me I'm right. Yes. We just got a new captain in Hischier after he came back from injury, and he's out again. Okay, maybe on second thought, don't really cheer for the Devils. I'll jump ship with you. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Devils are probably in a pretty similar spot with the Sabres. I thought in theory the Sabres should have been better than the Devils this year, but with all the injuries and all those stupid stuff that happened, they were the last place team. The Devils were not. Don't do the Devils because they're just as bad, and this is coming from a Devils fan. I do like Jack Hughes, though. I will say that. I like him a lot. Islanders fan here, perennial underdog, always underlooked by Stars for trade destinations and UFA signings, but we have the best fans and play like a real team. Look where we are now. That is true, and I gotta say, like, I really like the fact that they're having a ton of success after Tavares left. Like, I felt so bad for them after they lost John Tavares for literally nothing. So the fact that, you know, they've been having this much success, even with that kind of setback, got a lot of respect for that. I believe the Islanders would be a terrific team for you to switch to. I speak from experience when I say that it's great to be on the other side of not getting a shot on goal in the third period down by 2 and having a 5-2 game 3 games in a row. Oh, don't remind me. I forgot about that. I blocked that from my memory and you just reminded me. 0 shots on goal in the third when you're down by 2. You could be happy watching those games. Plus that Barzal kid is pretty good, and we hate the Leafs just as much as you do. I love how this is like such a seller. Like, yeah, we hate the Leafs too. Come join us. Islanders, we have a great team. Not that many fans. Even fewer good fans like you. Bring your passion and knowledge game over to us. And if you need help becoming acclimated, just remember to hate Josh Bailey for no apparent reason and always overreact to a 3-game losing streak. Oh, and Adam Pelech is God. The Islanders have really good fans, especially my good friend Kim, Isles Girl 3. I didn't really think much of the Islanders but seeing her and just seeing how passionate she is about the Islanders, they've kind of won me over a little bit. I've kind of been rooting for them a little bit just because of her and because of how they've been doing. I don't want to speak for everyone, but you would be more than welcome on the Islanders bandwagon. Our coach has a system that actually works and makes sense. We have 4 guys with 9 goals or more 2 months ago. Great young core in Barzy, Wallstrom, Dobson, Bo, Sorokin, the best 4th line in hockey. Team that plays elite team defense for the most part. Don't I know that? Plus, you don't even have to leave New York to root for them. So come on down to the island and say yes, yes, yes to being an Islanders fan. I'll be happy if they win. That's fine. All right, the Rangers. Ugh. Don't mention Jack Eichel's name. Root for the Rangers. We have a young, exciting core with a head coach that has no idea what he's doing. Not anymore, you don't. We also tend to go on short win streaks of 2 or 3 games and then lose 4 in a row. It's a ton of fun, trust me. I don't trust you on that one. It doesn't sound fun. The winning sounds fun, though. Cheer for the Rangers because the near future is bright for them, and Lafreniere Kakko is awesome. Panarin is a spectacle to watch night in, night out. They play in the best arena in the world. I'm guessing you're from New York, so you could just cheer for another New York team. See, I feel like there's a huge difference between New York City and the rest of New York State, right? I feel like people outside of New York City, New Yorkers outside of New York City will tell you that. So like, I say I'm from New York, but I'm definitely not from New York City. I feel like it's just 2 different worlds. I would love to go to MSG though, I've never been there. Rangers all the way, original 6 team, head Gretzky, classic uniforms, home arena is MSG, epic goal song, that is true. Their goal song's one of my favorite in the league. Currently the youngest team in the league, but are on the way up. Jeff Gordon is a great GM for the most part. Awkward. And you'll never have to worry about them not being able to acquire certain players that may be too expensive for other teams, as they are not shy to spend to the cap if necessary. Yeah, the Sabres aren't either, but it just somehow doesn't work out for them. Well, you would rather see a team you know will be better year after year, right? The Rangers have all these young studs, and they are getting better by the minute. Plus, your boy Jack Eichel may end up here anyway, so you should root for the Rangers. Don't talk about it. It makes me sad to think about. New York Rangers! You can continue to cheer on Jack Eichel as he tears up the league with elite wingers Kaapo Kakko and Alexis Lafreniere. So this is what I find interesting, and every time I talk to Rangers fans about like Jack Eichel trades, they always bring up like all these guys that I just have no interest. Like they have so many untouchables, right? Like can't have Kakko, can't have Lafreniere, can't have Panarin, can't have Adam Fox, can't have Zibanejad. Like the list can just go on and on about all these players that we can't have. You can have like Ryan Strome and Chris Kreider. That's the thing, I find it really interesting what, like, you know, Rangers fans think they're gonna get Jack Eichel, which they very well might, but they don't want to give up any of anybody to get him. So it's like, are you gonna have Jack and Kakko and Lafreniere all on, like, you're not, that's how it's gonna be? Okay, I guess we'll wait and find out. Rangers fans get pretty touchy when I mention any of their untouchables though, so I won't go any further than that. On to the Senators. That's gonna be a good team for you. They're similar to the Sabres, that they're a bottom team, but they're actually improving. See, that's important. We're bad, but we're actually improving. And they have a rivalry with the Leafs, so there's always that. Again, we also hate the Leafs. Go Sens go, up-and-coming team. Alex Trebek at the draft. We love those jerseys, and we hate the Leafs even more. This just keeps going. Yeah, that Alex Trebek thing at the draft, like, I remember that. That was sick. That was the coolest thing they could have done. Ottawa Senators are still a crap team, but with young players coming in, there's artificial hope still shining down on them. Remember when the Sabres landed Eichel and how you felt this was a turning point to the franchise? I did feel that way. Silly me. Ottawa's at that point now. Feel that hope again. Become a sicko. Even get the added bonus of watching the Maple Leafs blow a 5-1 lead to your team from time to time. They did that too. I forgot about that too. That was funny. That 5-1 lead that they blew. Good times. Come cheer on the Flyers. We were just as inconsistent and disappointing, but at least we got gritty. Sure, gritty cracks me up. I do. Gritty see the things that make hockey fun, that are like different from everybody else and make hockey fun, and gritty is definitely that. They get a thumbs up for me. I love it. Cheer for the Flyers. You'll get to see more wins, and you'll still ultimately be disappointed every year. Still be disappointed, but get to see more wins. That's an upgrade. If you like chaotic dumpster Muppets, then maybe consider cheering for the Flyers. We also have cheesesteaks. Ooh, never had a cheesesteak in Philly, but I do love cheesesteaks. They're usually my go-to. Okay, so here's an idea of the Flyers. No one likes us, right? We don't care. Sunglasses face emoji. I like that. Yeah, I know no one likes us, but who cares? Which is such a stark contrast from like how people view the Sabres right now, because it's like, if no one likes the Flyers, like everyone just feels so awful for the Sabres. Like, oh, you poor Sabres fans. Aw. Penguins, because they have the longest playoff streak in the entire NHL. Ugh. They have the longest playoff streak. We have the longest playoff list streak. Cool. So even if they don't win the cup every year, you can pretty much reliably expect them to at least make the playoffs. Sold. Like they've been in the playoffs for so long, we haven't even been there once. Jeez. Penguins, because winning is fun. It sure is. Or so I've heard. Pittsburgh Penguins, because we've always got generational talent when we tank that leads to multiple cups. That's so true. Like, the Penguins tank, and then look what happens. They get these stars. Sharks, our playoff drought is only about to be 2 years, and we have no bad conch. Maybe cheer for a different team. Oh, poor Sharks. That playoff drought only being 2 years, though, is probably, I mean, that's pretty good. That's not nothing. May I recommend the Sharks? We may not be winning right now, but it won't be long until we are again. We have a fantastic logo. Teal is a gorgeous color, and Curtis Gabriel is out there doing God's work from the fourth line. Yeah. I will say, if I was picking a team solely based on like jersey color, it would be the Sharks, hands down. Teal is my favorite color. So yeah, oh my God, I love the Sharks jerseys. Sharks and the Flames are probably tied for me, but yeah, if I was picking a team solely based on the jersey, it might actually be the Sharks. Blues, oh God. I think I know where this is going. Ryan O'Reilly, Ryan O'Reilly, Ryan O'Reilly. Melody, you know where your heart is telling you to go. The Sabres lost their mojo when they let Ryan O'Reilly go. See, there it is. As a Blues fan and a subscriber of yours, we would welcome you with open arms as a fan of the St. Louis Blues. God. You should cheer for the Blues. We had a very similar cup drought to the Sabres, even though there were some very good teams in the 90s and early 2000s, and your good buddy Ryan O'Reilly is here. Go away with that. Don't remind me. Watch the Blues just see O'Reilly again. I knew where this was going. Also, super fun and inconsistent goaltending will keep you on your toes. St. Louis Blues, we have the greatest logo in the league. I do love their logo. We throw the best Stanley Cup victory parades. Also probably true. I watched videos of those. It seemed very fun. Ryan O'Reilly looked like he was having a good time. And you haven't lived until you've had a toasted ravioli. Ooh, I don't like normal raviolis, but toasted sounds interesting. Root for the Blues. You won't have to change team colors, true, and you'll get to root for Ryan O'Reilly again. I don't want to. This time happy. Also, despite the recent cup win, we still understand what a 50-year drought is like, complete with many iterations of incompetent management. Yeah, the team is good enough to be worth jumping ship to watch, but not so good that you'll feel like a front-running bandwagoner. That's a good point. I mean, even before the Ryan O'Reilly thing, like, I always liked the Blues. Like, they always kind of, like you said, had that, like, you know, that long cupless drought, and Ryan Miller was traded there. So yeah, and I mean, I never had much of an issue with the Blues until Ryan O'Reilly. I say Blues fans because we take your best player and win it all. Yeah, guys, I get it. Stop. Tampa Bay Lightning, Stanley Cup, enough said. Yeah, I mean, that's all you really need. Good enough. Tampa Bay Lightning, they just won the cup. The best in the NHL, have multiple superstars, and they have good jerseys, and they win more than Buffalo. I will say about Tampa Bay's jerseys, they annoy me. I don't like them because they look way too much like the Leafs jerseys. They're the exact same colors as the Leafs, and I don't like that. I loved, and I mean loved, like the 90s and like 2000s Lightning jerseys, like those like black ones with the blue and like the white, and like, oh, I love those ones. If they went back to that, I would totally be on board saying the Lightning have some of the best jerseys in the league. But the fact that they look way too much like the Leafs jerseys just irritate me, and I don't like that. Lightning, we actually win games. We have become one of the most resilient groups after last year's win. We are first in the league without Nikita Kucherov, and we'll have him back for the playoffs. Yeah, that was crazy that, like, Kucherov comes back for game one. Would he have, like, 2 goals or something, or multi-point night? Like, just like, yeah, like no time's passed. All right, despite the fact that I said no Leafs, I think we still got some here. Oh, man, I was going to try pitching for the Leafs. Yeah. You could try, it's not gonna work. I was so hyped to give you all the reasons to cheer for the Leafs until I read that last part. Honestly, I feel bad for all the Sabres fans. Abandoned ship. That's the funny thing is, like, there have been so many Leafs fans that have, even them, haven't had the heart to, like, roast us that bad, which I think is funny. So you know it's bad when that happens, right? Cheer for the Leafs. They're only an hour-and-a-half drive north, and being a Sabres fan, you're well-equipped to deal with the heartbreak. You know what's funny? Like, Sabres have had plenty of heartbreak over the years, but I feel like the Leafs have had, like, such intense, like, painful heartbreak. Like, when you're a Sabres fan and there's nothing really on the line, it's not that heartbreaking, but ugh, those Leafs losses have been tough. It seems like the more you hate on the Leafs, the better the team plays. Maybe just be happy for us Leafs fans because we haven't won a cup in 50 years just like the Sabres haven't. No. I think it's time to see if you can out-dangle Steve Dangle at his own game. Cheer for the Leafs for one game. Never. It's either the best thing in the world for your mental health or the worst. I don't know if you guys saw, but on Steve Dangle's latest Dang It's video, he gave me a shout-out, and he gave my video a shout-out. And it's so funny because, like, I watched his videos, and I compare him to mine, and I think I just love watching him just completely, like, look like he's gonna lose his mind and go absolutely ballistic for the Leafs. So I would imagine that, like, being a Leafs fan probably... I mean, like Sabres fan, probably isn't the greatest for anyone's mental health until they actually win something, which they're probably not super far away from, but yeah. The Leafs, the Buds are in it with all their heart, and so is the fan base. Why not Toronto? Curious. This is why. Because I hate Sabres-Leafs games. I get it, the tickets are cheap, but just stay home, God. On to the Canucks. I'll talk about it, but I've recently developed a serious soft spot in my heart for the Vancouver Canucks. Come on, easy answer, Canucks. Buffalo's expansion, brother. We have a lot in common too. Awful teams, bad drafting, years of failure. It will be similar to cheering for the Sabres, and I'm sure you'll feel right at home. Yeah, both coming to the league in 1970, like I feel like there's a lot of similarities there, right? Both teams have kind of had it a little bit rough, haven't really had that success, haven't won a cup, so it's pretty similar actually. Here's why you should cheer for the Canucks. I've shared pain with the Sabres except for a bit more success, so you already have some experience with pain. Yeah. You said in the past that you find our fan base very welcoming and supportive of your channel. Absolutely. And wouldn't mind cheering for them. 100%. We have great players for the future. Pettersson, Horvat, Hughes, Hoglander, Demko. Demko is becoming a god and we think everyone else should bow down to him. Fair. Even though this year is not very fun, trust that it will be in the years to come. Sincerely, your expansion brethren. And yeah, I think this was before they had all their COVID problems too. So Canucks had a really rough year this year. But yeah, like I said, like the Canucks fans, like collectively, like if I had to pick one fan base that has been like the most awesome to me, honestly, Leafs fans wouldn't be too far behind because Leafs fans have kind of been awesome to me also. But Canucks fans, I would definitely put at the top. Like, they've just been so nice to me since I started my channel. And I think with the fact that we're both 1970 expansion teams, like, I don't know, there might be something to that, but for sure. Canucks will welcome you. Us non-cup winners need to stick together. Absolutely we do. It's such an exclusive group that we recently kicked Washington out of. Yep, and St. Louis too. That group's getting smaller and smaller, guys. I'm starting to worry. Expansion cousin Canucks, we know your pain, been to the final a few times, same as you with no cup. We can pull for each other. We are just a little further down the road development path, hopefully, and there are some entertaining players to cheer for. Plus, we hate Toronto as well. There we go again. Canucks, we've been your expansion brothers since 1970, nothing to show for it. Had more suffering and like to burn our city. In reality, those Sabres and Canucks are very alike. Yeah, lovable losers with a diehard fan base, absolutely. We do have a very good young core and could do some serious damage this decade once we lose our crappy bottom six. Yeah, I remember back in 2011 when the Canucks were going up against the Bruins in the final. I remember, like, gross, but I remember rooting for the Bruins just because, like, you know, being from Buffalo, there's such a rivalry with Canada, and I just didn't want a Canadian team to win it. And, you know, like, not knowing a ton about the Canucks, seeing them, you know, when there was, like, that city burning thing going on. So I didn't really have a positive view when it came to the Canucks. But I gotta tell you, like I said, with how awesome everyone has been, I have had such a newfound appreciation for the Canucks. My pal Canuck Clay, if you know him on YouTube, he's been super, super nice to me. He's reached out to me. Check him out if you haven't already. He kind of does what I do, like writes the parody songs about the Canucks. So yeah, like I said, I love the Canucks now for no other reason than just with, you know, how much love I've been getting from their fan base. So definitely, like, I'm definitely cheering for the Canucks when I'm not rooting for the Sabres, definitely. Vegas, spoiled. Let's see. Go Knights, go. You'll not find a more entertaining team and a welcoming fan base than Vegas. Onward. Yeah, they do have a really, like, going to Vegas is definitely on my list, and going to see a game there live because that atmosphere just looks incredible. Here for the Golden Knights, our fan base may absolutely have a bunch of cancerous elements like any of them other than the Coyotes and Panthers, but you deserve a team that has only ever made the playoffs. Thank you. That's so nice to say. A place where pain means losing controversially in Game 7 in the first round. Yeah, that's probably been like their main thing, right? The place where Colin Miller was actually good for a time. He fell off towards the end of the time in Vegas. Yeah, he was better for Vegas, that's for sure. I bet Cody Eakin was too. Plus we have Golden Pipes. Two of you combined would be an extremely formidable duo of singers. The rest of the league would have difficulty matching. And did I mention that the broader hockey scene in Nevada has really started taking off in recent years? Yeah, that's another thing. Like I'm saying, these non-traditional hockey markets, like, it's been awesome to see, like, totally getting into the NHL. I love what a success story Vegas has been for expansion. I hope Seattle has the same success too, because that's just been such an awesome thing to be able to witness. And even though I'm jealous that they've had as much success and only being in the league for a few years, like, it's awesome. You can't even deny how awesome it is. On to the Capitals. Caps span all the heart attacks, but we win most of the time. Yeah, that must be nice. So to be so stressed out about things, but then actually have good come from it. As a representative of the Capitals fan base, we would welcome you. We got a cup, and TJ Oshie is a national treasure. That he is. Like, he's probably up there. He's probably like top 3, one of my favorite players in the league. How can you not love TJ Oshie, right? Caps, we have Obi. That is all. Yeah, Ovechkin and McKinnon, my 2 favorites. Washington Capitals is the team you want to root for because we have Alex Ovechkin on our team, and we know how to celebrate a championship victory. God, that you do. That was the funniest thing to watch the Caps just go nuts with that cup. If you want to love watching hockey again, watch Alexander Ovechkin play. His enthusiasm and skill are a joy to watch. Yes, it is. Plus, have I mentioned he's chasing the all-time goal scoring record? We won a cup recently and remain in the mix this year. Do yourselves a favor, start rooting for the Caps. I mean, I do. The Caps are, I always root for the Caps. I mean, as much as Tom Wilson's been annoying me lately. What I find interesting too is, like, I always wonder how close Ovechkin would be to Gretzky's scoring record, right? Like, if they didn't have the lockout in what would have been his rookie year, if they didn't have the other half of a year lockout, if they didn't have all the COVID stuff, like, he would have had so many more games, so many more goals, and I think he'd be so much closer to that Gretzky goal scoring record. How about you rock the red and join the Caps? We make the playoffs consistently, always on the top of our division, and you have no idea what happens once you get to the playoffs, so the emotions are always running high. It must be nice. High-flying offense, forgetting about defense means no game ever becomes boring. That's what I want, not boring hockey. You would have to be ashamed for a couple dirty plays every year. Yes, Tom Wilson. But we may have already reached our quota for the year. This was 2 months ago. Spoiler alert, you didn't reach your quota. There would still be more. So join us in the pure joy of cheering for a team with Ovechkin. Yeah, always will. Always will. Winnipeg Jets easy decision. Two similar cities. Both are big football hockey towns. Blue Bombers and Jets are the heart and soul of the city. Dale Howard Truck connection. Perfect match. Oh, and lots of Bills fans in Winnipeg. Ooh, are there really? I didn't know that. I wonder if that's true. Is that true? If so, then you have my attention. Winnipeg Jets, come be a part of the whiteout. Yeah, that whiteout is awesome. Seriously, like, I remember, I've only been to one playoff game in my lifetime. It was game 1, 2006 in the quarterfinals against Philly, and the Sabres did like a whiteout thing like that where everyone dressed in white, and that was awesome. So the fact that the Jets do it is so cool. All right, and now into the non-current NHL teams. So let's start with the Kraken. I got some Kraken comments. Seattle Kraken, maybe? I mean, it's definitely a fresh start, and maybe that's what is needed. Plus, who doesn't like Kraken mythology? That logo is awesome, and so are the jersey colors. That is very true. I'm definitely getting a Kraken jersey. I'm very interested to see who the Kraken have, who they get in the expansion, and I definitely want one because those are some sick jerseys. Here's why you should root for the Seattle Kraken. Holy moly. Next year will be the team's first season. Basically, they should have no expectations, so no matter what happens, they shouldn't be disappointment. Have you seen the logo? And the name Kraken is so unique to any professional sports team. Who wouldn't want to wear a Kraken jersey? Those things look so cool. Again, yes. Since next season, their first season, is perfect timing for new fans to jump on board. I see people on the Kraken subreddit all the time saying they're abandoning their NHL team to hop on the Kraken bandwagon, so now is as good a time as ever. Yeah, I've seen a ton of Sabres fans say that too, that they're just jumping ship and becoming Kraken fans, so that's funny. With the expansion draft, don't really expect them to take any bad long-term contracts like a Kyle Poso or Jeff Skinner. Bummer. And if they do, they definitely get good compensation for doing so in the form of prospects or draft picks, yeah. So they should be loaded for the future either way. I would imagine. They have the projected 3rd overall pick in the upcoming entry draft, so they should definitely hopefully end up with a really nice prospect. Ron Francis, sure. Also Jason Botterill. Pacific Division, I'm not saying the Pacific Division is a bunch of pushovers, but apart from Vegas, there's not really another cup contender in the Pacific. You have Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, San Jose, Anaheim, LA. Again, I'm not saying it'll be a breeze for the Kraken, just maybe not as tough. Yeah, that's all I got. That was a lot. I'm hoping this convinced you that clearly the team you're looking for is the Seattle Kraken. That was a good one there. Go with the Kraken, they're undefeated. Very, very true. All right, I got one from the Quebec Nordique. We don't exist anymore, so we never have a losing streak. Bring back the Nordique. Yeah. I mean, that's true. It's appealing, not losing. A lot of people have been reminding me of that too, like with all the times that I've been like talking bad about the Sabres. They're like, well, at least you have a team. You're gonna be sad if you didn't have a team. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. They're better than no team at all. And then the winner of this, my favorite comment from the Atlanta hockey fan. We haven't lost a game in a decade, and Max Afinogenov played for us. This isn't hard. That's incredible. I love it. Yeah, that is very true. The Atlanta Thrashers haven't lost a game in a very long time. And Max did play for the Thrashers. I remember going to a game against the Thrashers. Max Afinogenov was playing against us, and it was the weirdest thing watching my all-time favorite Sabre playing against us. But that is the one thing I want. I badly want an Atlanta Thrashers Max Afinogenov jersey. I haven't been able to ever find one because, like, did anyone even make them, right? And I'm sure I could just get one customized or something, but that's definitely on my list. But that was a great comment. That made me laugh really hard. So yeah, again, a huge thank you to everyone who sent in comments. That was, I had a lot of fun doing that video. I'm gonna be real. Of course, thank you to everyone this year who has stuck with me, who has helped me surpass the Buffalo Sabres in total subscribers. If you have any more pitches you want to add to this, and you want to keep this conversation going on why I should leave the Sabres and join your favorite team and root for your favorite team, always feel free to let me know in the comments, for sure. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Go Sabres, go Bills. Bye, guys.